John McDonnell writes at flownews24.com.au about the regions that are rising. There's a boom in regional Australia, he says. In the December quarter, farm GDP grew by 33%. Most regional centres are experiencing the best time they've had in years. Sales of utes and farm machinery are up 8%. There are also signs that as a consequence of COVID, city people are looking for a tree change, and house prices and regional populations are growing faster than they are in the cities. On the 17th and 18th of March, the Regional Australia Institute is conducting a workshop for attendees from regional councils entitled Regions Rising National Summit. Among the subjects being discussed is a model for attracting residents to the regions. The program also includes what is described as a policy hack, that is, during which attendees will develop a package of policies on regional development to be delivered to government. Authorities in the regions appear to be suffused with optimism. However, there is a danger that what they are experiencing may be a false dawn. In 2017, John writes, the Productivity Commission prepared a study on structural transition in regional Australia. It concluded that although large amounts of discretionary expenditure had been pumped into regional Australia, most of it had been ineffective. The Productivity Commission developed a metric that showed the capacity of a regional economy to structurally adjust. When regions were assessed using the metric, it showed that while some had a high capacity to transition, others did not. The conclusion was that much more analysis and planning needed to be done to bring about sustainable medium-term growth. One example of how this initiative may be a mixed blessing is provided by the movement of city residents to the regions. In some cases, such as in regional Victoria, the tree changers may be young working-age families looking for a better lifestyle. These people will benefit the region they join even if they continue to commute to the city for work, because they will spend a good proportion of their money locally and not be a drain on the community. On the other hand, if the tree changers are retirees moving to a coastal town in New South Wales, the outcomes are mainly negative. The incomers tend to drive up house prices, which is a barrier to working families relocating to the area, while at the same time they put increased demands on the health and welfare services and so cost the community scarce resources. And simply getting more people may not be the answer to sustainable economic growth, John says. Most regional authorities want to increase business investment. At the moment, the key to increasing business capital appears to be using infrastructure investment as an economic locomotive. However, the Productivity Commission argues that without substantial reform to state and local government regulation and planning, businesses will find it hard to establish in the regions even with financial incentives. Regions have also had a go at picking winners through the establishment of tourism and education hubs. Regional centres like Wagga Wagga, Albury, Geelong and Toowoomba have done very nicely out of having universities as part of their communities. Regional universities are attractive to international students who spend quite a lot of the time in the community that they live in and study in. However, the ban on international travel has driven a sledgehammer through this little earner. Tourism has suffered a similar blow, which has caused devastating problems in places like North Queensland and the Whitsundays. Transitioning the regions to a sustainable, diversified economic base is easier said than done, John says. Talk of renewable-led structural change is a pipe dream. Ross Gunno, author of Superpower, points out keeping windmills and solar farms going employs a few people. On the other hand, using cheap energy as a basis for sophisticated high-value processing requires skilled labour. How to attract that highly skilled worker to a particular region is the question the Region Rising Summit needs to grapple with. And I'm sure that John will have an update on the 17th and 18th of that summit, and we'll report it here on flownews24.com.au, and hopefully we do make some real strident moves forward for towns to get that structural change and for the right populations, young workers, tradesmen coming to our towns to fulfil a lot of positions that are available across our regions here on the Flow broadcast areas.